Okay, so we were talking about the design of this particular socket, failure of the socket near the rod, shear failure of socket near the rod. So that time we have seen that the resisting area is this much, and now this is the area which we are going to take into account into the equation. So we write the equation: shear design stress is equal to load upon area, and area is this area which is the circular area. So what is that area going to be? It is pi d, that is circumference, into the length L1. So pi d into L1, that is the resisting area. Once you write here, then load upon area is equal to shear stress, and you can find out the size L1. So as a result, you will be able to finalize this size L1. So now you will find all the dimensions of this socket, they are finalized. So out of the three parts, we have designed spigot, then we have designed the socket. Now the next part is the cotter pin. So what is a cotter pin? This is a part which is something like this. It is placed between the two, and under the action of a tensile load, it is going to fail from these two places as a shear failure. So this cotter pin, because of load, it is going to fail from this and this place. So these two places it will fail by double shear. So we write design of cotter, shear failure of cotter. So we start with the criteria shear failure of cotter. For that we write down shear design stress. Design shear stress is equal to load upon area, and area, what area you are going to take? Why it is taken 2b into t? You can see here that one size is b, the other size is thickness t. So the area here plus here, that is what you have to take, because it is going to break from here. So if you draw this cotter like this, then it is going to fail from here and here. Here there is a taper given. So because of the taper, the dimension b is at the center. Here it will be less than b, here it will be more than b. Now how much it is more? You can say this small distance is x. So it is b plus x. Here it is b minus x. So this length is b minus x, this length is b plus x. So the area is b plus x into t plus b minus x into t. So it is b plus x plus b minus x into t. So x gets cancelled and it becomes b and b twice. So it is 2b into t. That is the cross section here plus here. So the resisting area is 2b into t, and out of that b you can find out, that is the width at the center. Now having found out the width at the center, now our job is to find out what is going to be b max here and b minimum here, and what is the amount of taper given here. Now for this you have to decide the length. The other dimension is L. What is going to be the length of the cotter? Now you will here realize that certain dimensions are such that they are not to be found out by any such failures equations. Certain dimensions, they are not taking part in any kind of a failure. Their importance is not to resist any failure. You can see that even if this length is less or even if it is more, it is not going to make any difference. Okay, what will happen if it is less? If it is less, what will happen is, when you start hammering, that time it will be difficult to hammer because this will come in the way. So the length of the pin L should be such that it should cross this D4. That means it should be more than D4 by some amount. Even if you do that much, it is sufficient. So L is going to be equal to D4 plus these two sizes. So I written here, length of the cotter, that is L, is going to be equal to, let the size L be equal to D4 plus 10 to 12 mm, whichever is suitable you feel as per the rounding principle. So add some dimension in this range and see that you get a round figure for the length of the cotter, so that it will be few millimeters here and here extra, around 5 to 7-8 millimeters extra on both sides. So that is the size L we have talked about. Then you will also realize that at these two places there is a curvature given. Now why this curvature is given? There is some meaning for that. If you take a section here, and that section if you see from side, it will look like this. So this curvature shape is from the side, if you look, it is like this. So it is curvature like this, and when you see from here, then it is this way, taper. So it is a taper and it is curvature like this. That is how the shape is given here. Now why the shape is given here is, the reason is, as you know, we have to take out this cotter by hammering. You have to put it inside also by hammering. So these two ends, they are going to receive the blows of the hammer. So when you hammer it like this, what is going to happen is, the thickness of the cotter, that is T, that is not going to remain T. After a long use of hammering, the T is going to increase. That is called the flaring. It is written as flare. It will flare means it will increase because of constant heating. So if the thickness T increases, then it will be difficult to remove from the slot. So to prevent that, what is done is, this is given extra shape, taper shape, so that even if you hit and even if this flares, it will not cross the thickness T. That is why the shape of some such shape is given. Okay. So now having done this much, now let's find out what is going to be the B max and B minimum. Okay, so to find out, for quarter. So now you will see that the shape of the quarter is something like this. Okay, this is the middle point. This is 90 degrees and this is given a taper. Now how much is it taper? The taper is written as 1:30. The taper is a standard taper. 1:30, this taper is called as 1:30 taper. Now what it means is, if you see this line like this, then this line for any distance like this, if this is 30, then this is going to be 1. That is the proportion they are showing. This is 90 degrees. So the taper is explained in this language 1:30. So for every 30 distance here, this is going to be 1, 30 by 1. Okay. So knowing the taper size 30 by 1, now you can find out what is going to be the B max here and what is B minimum. Can you find this out? At this place, it is B. So if this is B and this total length is L, then just by using geometry you can work out how much is this extra here. So if you draw a line here like this, you will find, suppose this is Y and this is Y. Then the B max size is B plus Y. B minimum size is B minus Y. So I'll write here, B max is B plus Y and B minimum is B minus Y. Now how much is Y? How much is Y? If this is 30, this is 1. So 30 corresponds to 1. So L will correspond to how much? Therefore L is equal to how much? So how much will be here? L by 30. This will be L by 30. So if 30 is 1, then L is L by 30. Therefore we have found out this size as Y is L by 30. So since you know L, we will find out Y. And once you know Y, you can add Y in B, subtract Y from B, and you will get B max and B minimum. So this is the way you can find out this size. Now while doing this, you will realize that as far as the rounding is concerned, if you go on rounding here, then that will change the taper. So taper should not be changed. So what you can do is, you can adjust the value of Y and make this round. Round means round figure. So you can change the value of Y only once, such that B max will be properly rounded. And once you do this, then according to that, whatever value you have taken here to round it, you can find out B minimum, which will not be rounded. So this is not round. So only one size is round, the other size is not round. Okay. Now why we do like this is because once the size is final, now let's say we have done all this and we have found out B max how much, we have found out L how much, then in fact this you even need not mention also. B minimum need not be mentioned. You did not work out also. Because while making this part, what you do is, you take this length as L, you take this length as B max, and then you apply taper. After you apply taper, whatever is the dimension comes here, whatever it is, that dimension you are going to accept without knowing how much is this. I am repeating, take this as L, take this as B max, and then draw a line at a taper of 1:30. So once you do that, whatever shape comes here, whatever length comes here, that is called as B minimum without actually knowing what it is. Okay. So when the part is made, the person is going to check whether L is as per drawing, whether B max is as per drawing, and whether taper is as per drawing. If these three things are as per drawing, that means the part is acceptable. We are not going to measure also what is B minimum. Okay, and then of course some more material is added for this curvature. So that is the design of quarter. So having done this much, now what is done is, now what we have to do is, this particular quarter, after it is designed, considering the shear failure, are we going to stop here and say that the work is over? The answer is no. Why it is not so is because, see, every part you have to think over about its failure. Right now, whatever things we have done, all the different dimensions we have found out, incidentally, they were causing a failure of only one type, not two types. Therefore, each case we have analyzed only once for one type of failure and found out the size, and the work was over. But it may happen so that certain part might fail by two different ways. Out of that, one way we have considered and designed the part, found out the dimension, but the other way of failure is still there. We don't know whether it will fail or not by the other way. So now what we have to do, we have to check the other failure. We design by first failure and then check for the other failure. So while checking for the other failure, the formula what we normally write, stress equal to load upon area. In this formula, stress equal to load upon area. In this formula, what we do is, load is already there. Now area means dimensions are there, that means load is also there. So in this case, we find induced stress. The stress that is going to be induced in the part, and this stress, whether this induced stress is less than the design stress of whatever type you are talking about, that we are going to check. So it is going to be a matter of checking the stress. Earlier we have done the design part, now we are going to check the stress. The stress which is also going to be there, whether it is exceeding or whether it is within the limit for the dimension which we have obtained, that is what is to be done. So here now the work as such is over. We have designed this quarter pin considering the shear failure and we have got all the dimensions, work is over. But there is one more way this is going to fail, and now that kind of failure we have to check for these dimensions, for this area, whether that kind of failure will take place or not, whether that stress will exceed or not. So what is that stress? The stress here is going to be a bending stress. Now this quarter pin is going to bend, which we don't want to happen. Now the thing is, why it will bend? Why do we say it will bend? Here you will realize that at this place there is a clearance, here there is a clearance, and here there is a clearance. That means when we have hammered this quarter, we have purposely kept clearance because then only the wedging action will take place. Then only the jamming, proper fitting of the quarter will take place. So the clearance is a must, which we have provided. But then because of the clearance, what is going to happen is, as you go on pulling it further, there is a scope for the quarter to bend. So this quarter can bend because there is a space available here. So this quarter can bend like this. So if it bends like this, you can see there is some space available here and here. So it will form a shape like this and it will bend. Now this bending you will not realize. You cannot see by eyes. It is not so big. It will be in a few microns or few millimeters. So that kind of bending will take place, which we don't want to happen. So this is a bending failure. It is a failure because of the bending stress, and this bending stress is the one which we are supposed to check so that that will not happen. So failure of quarter pin for bending, that we have to check, and once you check and if the bending stress is within the limit, that means this kind of failure will not happen. So that is checking of the, so the next part is, having found out all the dimensions, the next part is checking of quarter for bending. So the next topic is checking of quarter for bending, which is what we have to do, which we will do afterwards.